A few weeks ago on this channel, we went over how the Dallas Mavericks and Quentin Grimes failed to come together on terms for an extension on his rookie deal, and that he's currently a restricted free agent hoping to play into a bigger contract. And unfortunately, the way that he's played in the first two games, it really doesn't look like he's going to command that much of a contract, but it is only the first two games of the season. He has about 80 more games to go to really try to play up for a bigger contract. But we do have news on what the contract was actually offered and why he turned it down, and we're going to take a look at that information as well as how are fans feeling about our Josh Green replacement. But how's it going, everybody? My name is Marcel Martin. This is Mavs Digest, bringing you the latest news on everything Mavericks related. And before you start with today's video, we are currently sitting at 13,897 subscribers, getting very, very close to that goal of 15K. But if you want to be up to date on everything Mavericks related, the live streams, the watch longs, the news vids, and everything else in between, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on a single thing that we do. But Quentin Grimes is a young role player still developing that we picked up over the season in a trade for Tim Hardaway Jr., and a lot of people were very excited for it. I myself thought he was a very underrated pickup, had very, very good moments in New York as a young 3-and-D type player with a very good guard skill set, able to score, able to play make, able to handle the ball, and could possibly be another ball handler for the Dallas Mavericks. A lot of people were excited for him as we did see him as an upgrade from Tim Hardaway Jr., someone that we traded him for, but more specifically an upgrade from Josh Green. Although Josh Green was amazing for the Dallas Mavericks, I definitely miss him to this day. Provide a lot of hustle plays, a lot of effort that you can't really teach to somebody. You gotta just want it. But a lot of people are unsure about Quentin Grimes after the first two games of the season. Didn't really show any promise, didn't really show anything for fans to be excited for. And although it is just the first two games, you can't really look at that as an indicator on how good a player is going to be, as some players do take more time to develop, while some players, they can just slide into a new role on a new team and things look easy. Perfect example is Klay Thompson. I mean, he just got here over the summer. In his first two games, he looks pretty good. Game 1, he shot 6 of 10 from 3, and in Game 2, he shot about 5 of 12 from 3. Although you want better efficiency, that's still good for someone that a lot of people didn't have high expectations for. Thought he was washed. Talked about how he went 0 for 10 in his last game for the Warriors. Klay Thompson is doing a very good job of shutting up all the haters by not just shooting the ball very well, but providing excellent defense. But in the world of Quentin Grimes, in terms of Quentin Grimes, as far as his tenure with the Dallas Mavericks, he was up for a rookie contract extension, and it was reported just a few weeks ago that the Mavericks and Quentin Grimes were unable to come to terms on an extension. Grimes will play out the season on his current deal and become a restricted free agent. And when I reported this, when I made my little video on this, I said this is a good thing. It's not really like a bad thing. It's not like he's going to walk. He is a restricted free agent, meaning that if we can find some type of agreement throughout the season, cool. We sign him long term. If things don't work out, bad case, I guess worst case scenario, we can just trade him on a team friendly deal. Best case scenario, we have someone who really played up for his contract. He's worth every dollar. Very similar to Jaden Hardy, as he also had a rookie contract extension. And in Game 1, he looked amazing. Showed signs of improvement, ball handling, decision making, and scoring. Not so much in Game 2, but like I said, small sample size, it can't really go off of that. But we do have an update on Quentin Grimes and the type of contract that the Dallas Mavericks were trying to offer. The report saying that it's believed that the Dallas Mavericks offered Quentin Grimes a similar deal at the extension deadline that Najee Marshall received during free agency. 3 years, $27 million per the Stein line. So 3 years, $27 million, I think is perfectly fine. I know a lot of people were wondering if he was going to get something in the ballpark of maybe 4 years, 50 mil, 3 years, 28, 29 mil. But right there at 3 years, $27 million, I think it's perfectly fine. Now, whether or not he's going to play up to that 3 years, $27 million contract, that is to be determined. It's still very early in this season. I still believe that there is a lot of things that Quentin Grimes can provide for the Dallas Mavericks. Maybe not in one of the biggest roles on the team, but for a team that's trying to fight back into the playoffs, trying to fight back into the finals and win the finals, we need guys to do all the small little things. You're not going to have everybody on the roster play 15 to 20 minutes a game every night. That's not feasible. If Quentin Grimes is going to play 15 to 20 minutes, we do expect to see some type of production, as in the first two games of the season hasn't really been able to get much going. But like I said earlier, for some players it is easier for you to fall into a new system, like Klay Thompson. He's a champion, he's a veteran, he's been here before, he's been around long enough. So cool, you put him in a lineup, you get him open for a shot, he knocks him down. But in terms of Quentin Grimes, as he is a younger player, still developing, he is a role player. That is who he is right now and in his career, and he needs time to develop, and he also needs time to feel out his new role. I mean, he was on the Knicks, got traded to the Pistons, then he got traded to the Mavericks. He's got to get used to our system. He needs to find his niche in what he does well. And it's very reminiscent to Derrick Jones Jr., where a lot of people are saying that we made a mistake by not keeping Derrick Jones Jr. And if we're looking at right now, sure, you can make that argument, but later down the road and towards the end of the season, are we really going to have that same conversation still? I don't really think so. But in the case of Derrick Jones Jr., right away, he was a bench player. He was coming off the bench. He did step up into a starter position when we had injuries, and a lot of people felt like he wasn't really ready for that starting position. But halfway through the season, towards that trade deadline, leading into the playoffs, and even into the playoffs, Derrick Jones Jr. showed us that, okay, you were meant for this. You can actually play in this role for us, and you're doing pretty well. You definitely earned that contract that you got going into the LA Clippers. So maybe we have to give the same grade to someone like Quentin Grimes, and I understand that it doesn't really look pretty right now as he is kind of struggling in his role, but you got to give these guys grace. It's not like we're relying on Quentin Grimes to drop 30 points a night or 15 assists or 12 blocks. Nothing outlandishly crazy for Quentin Grimes. I truly believe that he will be a good role player for the Dallas Mavericks. I'm not going to give up on any of our guys after just 2 games. We can have this conversation closer to February when that trade deadline is right around the corner, but it is interesting to think that he thought that he deserved more than 3 years, $27 million. I think that's a very modest contract. I mean, we saw Jaden Hardy get, 3 years, $9 million, or however much it was, which I feel like is a little bit of a low ball, because I feel like Jaden Hardy can definitely play above his current contract. And if Quentin Grimes wants to bet on himself, if he wants to go out there and prove that he's worth more than that, then show me. I would love to see it. I would love to see Quentin Grimes prove to everybody that he is worth more than 3 years, $27 million. But another thing that we definitely want to look at right here is by Landon Thomas. He tweeted out saying, Najee Marshall and Quentin Grimes just got here. I would give them grace and be more focused on PJ Washington and Jaden Hardy. You like to see them consistently score 10 plus each night. But that's the beauty of the NBA. It's game 2. Mavs play tomorrow against the Jazz. And that's absolutely right. I've been saying it since the first game. I've been saying it since preseason, really, that for our role players, you got to give them grace. I'm not going to have any real harsh criticisms of Najee Marshall or Quentin Grimes until we're about 10 to 15 games in. When guys feel a bit more comfortable, you have a couple games under your belt, and you should know your role. You should be able to be effective. But we can still be fair and say if you did play about 15 minutes and had 0 points, then hey, what are you doing? And did you miss all your shots? Jaden Hardy played great in game 1, but in game 2, missed every single shot that he took. And we need a little bit more efficiency from our guys. We need to make sure we're able to hit our open shots, hit our layups when we're at the rim, and make sure that we actually hit our free throws, which it looks like our free throws aren't that bad. It's just those wide open shots, for whatever reason, just aren't going in. But another thing that I want to look at is the fans are really starting to wonder whether or not that these players are actually going to fit in the Dallas Mavericks. And this tweet right here kind of sums it up. I've been seeing this all over the place since the start of the season, really. Are we sure Quentin Grimes is better than Josh Green? And I don't think it's a matter of who's better than who. Is can Quentin Grimes do the things that we asked of Josh Green? We asked Josh Green to provide hustle, to provide defense, which he was an average defender, always got lost on the screens, which it happens. We were trying to get him out of that. We asked him to be able to score, maybe do a little play, maybe ball handle a little bit. Quentin Grimes is a little bit better at those things than Josh Green. It just takes time. Josh Green was here for how long? Quentin Grimes just got here. So we got to give the guys grace. We have to give them room to improve, room to make mistakes and learn and grow. You can't just make a championship roster overnight. We're not the 2017 Warriors, 2018 Warriors. We are the 2024, 2025 Dallas Mavericks. We have a very long season ahead of us. It's going to take time for guys to really feel out their roles and know where they belong and how they can help this team win games. But let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Do you believe that Quentin Grimes is worth 3 years, 27? Do you think he's worth more, less, or right there? I think he's worth the 3 years, $27 million. To pay him more than Najee Marshall is a little bit odd to me. I mean, we can have a conversation about it down in the comment section. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for making this far to the video. Make sure you check out our Twitter and Discord. Links in the description below. Consider becoming a channel member. We are doing another giveaway. The winner will be announced the first week of November. But until next time, y'all take care. We'll be live tomorrow for the game against the Utah Jazz. You definitely want to be there. Drink water. Take care. Peace.